What up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from Dyslexic Investor, and holy moly guacamole, we got Amazon well over 1,000 here. Yes, Amazon 3,000 having a huge boost into today with the overall pretty large market uptrend that we're seeing in the overall market really continue going higher. Amazon is just being a huge catalyst again, just not giving a you-know-what about anything else that's going on in the world, and just continue riding that very high momentum averages continue going higher. We have a really interesting trade they're going to be looking at here. If you want to skip ahead, it's a $1.8 million bet for looks like a potential continue uprun into Amazon's earnings. The trade was put on for around 1.8 million. It's currently kind of trading around, I think, 2.7 million as of recording this around 11 a.m. So the trader's up quite a bit, so it's a nice little trade for them without a doubt. Again, $1.8 million bet, and now currently worth a little over $900,000 more than where it was an hour ago. That's the power of options, boys. That being said, can Amazon continue going higher? I think most likely yes. Amazon is a huge juggernaut in this overall space of the market. It can withstand so many different things. It has a huge fortress around all its bases and its overall stranglehold on so many different industries, and it just continues riding higher. Looking here at the chart again, we've kind of seen it kind of slowly grind up, but then just hit its afterburners and just really climb higher since the beginning of July here, towards the end of June. That being said, the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages are what we look at for the very efficient movement, meaning that these are the moving averages that a lot of people use it for momentum strategies. So those two formulas between the 5 and 8 exponential moving averages are really detailing, showing that potential uptrend. Again, this is on a daily chart. We see some support kind of coming in here around the 21. If it ever gets down to this point again, that's around 2,700. Again, we're talking $300 less from now. With earnings on the horizon, not completely confirmed, but looks like the 23rd potentially on this play. Again, this bet is actually before this is a potential earnings run and not holding it. I don't know what the folks are doing over there with all this money, but looking for a potential just kind of exhausting it out. Potentially, like previous quarter, it had a pretty enormous earnings run here, kind of kicked off basically 2 weeks-ish before, had a huge earning run that kind of traded sideways going into earnings. Well, I think once we get this confirmation here, this is most likely 99%. This is going to be the date. We'll get some more information from that moving forth. That being said, looking here even on a weekly chart, it is absolutely just a huge standout of how fast this has been moving. On a weekly side, this has not been breaking below in the past 2 or 3 months, 2.5 months below the 8 exponential moving average. It has tapped it once, kind of tapped it here, but it's continued climbing higher. So if you're trading it long term, you're most likely looking at more on a weekly side. If you're trading it more short term, you're looking here on the daily side as well. But that being said, this thing has just been a beast. RSI looks like it hit today or tomorrow on the overbought. Again, that doesn't really matter too much. That could just mean a potential taking a break here, trading around the 3,000 limit to kind of wait until earnings, maybe get some in around that range for a little bit. Volume oscillator is printing very well. Again, RSI super strong. Momentum is continually going higher. So this is all just good things, again, with your overall market. With Amazon, it's kind of, again, a disconnected from what's going on in the world, so they're just really benefiting, honestly, on what's happening with the virus and the pandemic. So let's go ahead and look at the trade. So the trade is pretty simple. Someone around 9:41 a.m. this morning placed a 200 contract bet at $91 or $9,100 per contract for the July 20th 2,900 call. The delta was at the current time at 63. As we just talked about, we can move over here, Tastyworks. If you're interested on Tastyworks, I have a link down in the description. This is what I use for trading. Absolutely love it. You don't have to sign up for it, but this is what I use for trading, and I use Thinkorswim for my charts. So if you're interested, go ahead and check on that link down below. That being said, let's go back into this trading tab here. So we're looking here at Amazon. Currently trading between that same call price is around 130 to 132. Again, they bought it for $91. So that's around $1.2 million $1.8 million dollars of the total cost of this trade. And then with the overall movement, again, this is pretty deep in the money as of right now. With this movement, currently it's kind of trading lower now, but if we look here at the mid price, we're looking at 128-ish. That's around $2.5 million currently. So again, this individual trade has gone up pretty substantially here in just the last hour. Literally an hour, they've made well over $750,000 on this particular trade. Yes, they started out with well over $1 million, but that is a pretty nice return here on this particular trade. You can still see here what the volume kind of came in pretty strong, and you see a lot of open interest here, which is a key indicator of how many contracts are being held at that particular strike price. So this is a very significant sign, because if you kind of scroll through, there's not really that much activity going on here, because again, we're only talking 11 days out. This is a run up potentially into earnings. Looks like a lot of volume kind of came in around that 3,000 here as well. So we kind of had a drop. Looks like it just kind of dropped a little bit, and now kind of flushing out some people potentially and getting those weak hands out, looking to kind of see if this contract, the 3,000 contract, can grind higher, kind of trading in at the money or in and around the money, because it looks like it's just trading pretty tight around that 3,000 price target. That being said, what is the potential value of this if it works all out for this individual? This could be a pretty substantial. Again, looking here on the trade tab, where we're currently looking at, if you bought in at 90, of course you're betting for the stock to continue going higher, and since you're buying it pretty deep in the money, you're looking for that delta to continue to climb up the ladder and really get that to really explode higher. Again, you're only giving yourself 11 days, so you really need the stock to continue to move. The break even on this trade, if they hold it all the way into expiration, is basically at the 30.29, so $3,029-ish to continue going higher. Again, this overall profit is max, or the max profit is infinite, because again, they're just buying the straight calls potentially, and this can continue to rise up. Yes, Amazon will have a floor or a ceiling in some places, but this can really continue just dragging higher. That being said, we can also look at what potentially, if it comes down to earnings, that this could be easily, we can do the best case. So again, the overall move of this is going to be $143 where we're currently trading. You can look at here at the plus or minus. So basically to say $150 where we're currently at, close to be around 31.50. So we can kind of look here on the trade tab, the analysis tab here. So the 31.50 should be right around here, so that trade could be easily well over 2.3 million, 2.5 million if they continue to holding to expiration, because theta decay is really going to start kicking in. That's implying that things are not going to completely move, so we can kind of put a theoretical price out there to kind of see what could potentially happen. But this trade is literally printing money as we speak, being very, very bullish on the overall Amazon stock here. So we can kind of do just a quick, thorough little look through again. Again, this individual, they could be hedging, they could be buying some SPY puts just to kind of be careful of their hedge. Just be mindful, is not something that I would be trading upon. This is their hedge. Just be mindful, is not something that I would be trading upon. This is just an example on some very lucrative options charting, and kind of piques your interest on understanding on what the big boys are doing. Again, some takeaways again before I let you guys go. On the daily chart, the 5 and 8 has been the very high driven momentum indicators here. If it starts getting down to around the 28.20 level, they start 28.19, 28.20, could be potentially a short-term buying opportunity if you're doing very short-term trading. If you're looking for more longer term, in the sense of a couple months, that 21 is really going to come in, potentially even the 34. And then if you're doing super long term, you're going to be looking for the 21 on the weekly chart, which is around 2,400, and that seems pretty insane. Where we're at 3,000, we're talking $600 lower. Again, anything can happen in the market. Don't forget, we don't have a crystal ball, so we'll see what happens. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you learned something today. Down in this, you have the fantastic Discord you can join completely free, where we talk about very much of different things. We had some couple trades coming on today. I took off my Nicholas short, so forth on that. We also have a fantastic Patreon page if you want to directly support the channel there, and then as well we have the fantastic affiliate link for Tastyworks, which you saw me kind of break down the options there if you want to go ahead and open up that as well. Thank you guys so much. Again, this is Ken from the Dyslexic Investor. I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.